In the headlines, Convent High School students among top performers in this year's CXC's CSEC exams. Law enforcement officials receiving training to help transform the juvenile justice system and a fitting farewell for the Penville Five. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details right after this. Welcome back. First up, Convent High School's Dejana Willis and Portsmouth Secondary School's Darnisha Langley both scored 10 ones, making the list of the island's top performers of CXC's CSEC examinations. This makes Dejana Willis the student with the most grade 1s. The 17-year-old says she is relieved to receive her grades.
It feels amazing, honestly, to know that you put in hard work and you actually reap the benefits in the end. Like working hard for so long in fourth form, well, from first form onwards, and then knowing that I put in the work and I get the results, that's just the best part of it. I had an amazing support system, like teachers and principals, sometimes students would help you and everything. Like it was just a positive environment. I intend on pursuing a bachelor's degree in chemical and biomolecular engineering in the United States. So there will be difficulties, there will be sometimes circumstances might be against you, but never give up. Keep pushing and you know that you will succeed if you try.
Darnisha Langley of PSS also obtained 10 ones. The male student with the most grade 1s is Omandi McIntyre of the St. Mary's Academy. He has 9 ones and 1 2. St. John's Academy student Annie Fu Jiang and Kishon Peter both obtained 9 grade 1s and 2 2s. Another top performer is SMA's Delmond Willis, brother of the island's top performer, Dejana Willis. He has the most grades, having sat 13 CXC subjects and scoring 8 1s and 5 2s. Their achievements are followed by an aspiring engineer of Convent High, Selena Paquette, who obtained 8 1s and 2 2s.
I am very happy about the results that I achieved because I worked very hard beforehand. Going to school, doing 10 subjects is a very difficult task, especially as I had several other tutoring lessons and so many people helping me and assisting me. And I was able to push forward and do everything that I wanted to do and wanted to achieve. I want to study physics, where I can become a physics engineer to try to discover new forms of energy, new ways to produce energy to have a cleaner, greener earth.
In related news, Dominica's top all-girls Catholic school has successfully maintained an over 90% pass rate for over a decade. Outgoing principal of Convent High School, Josephine Dublin, says she is proud of the students' achievement as the school continues to strive for academic excellence. 12 students from CHS are among the island's top performers in the 2017 CSEC exams.
We have continued to strive for excellence at Convent High School, and this is not a surprise. We've had quite a few initiatives to ensure proper learning at school, and also the parents, because they have invested a lot in their children and the children themselves. I think that they have gone far beyond what sometimes has been expected of them. This year we achieved a 96.1% pass, which is a little less than last year's 97.3%. But when you are in the 90s for over 10 years, a 5% increase would take you over to 100. So we still see 100% as our aim.
Dublin, who has served as CHS principal for 13 years, says the institution's remarkable performance in CSEC is nothing new.
Over 10 years for sure, we've been in the 90s. Well, since when I took over, we were already in the 90s, and this is my 13th year. So in 2014, we were 95%, 2015, we were 98%, 2016, 97%, 2017, 96%. So it fluctuates, of course.
On to law enforcement, police and prison officers have been challenged to be advocates for required changes in the juvenile justice system. They are participating in 3 days of training as part of the USAID-funded Juvenile Justice Reform Project. Former Magistrate Gloria Augustus is technical specialist for the project on island. She says the region's juvenile justice system is lacking proper systems and resources to reform young offenders.
These systems and resources are what we want in place to help us to give our children, your children, community's children, a first chance, a second chance, a fighting chance. The children, when they become adults, will not be helping our development agenda if we continue our dedication to punitive methods in the OECS region. Remember that our citizen security is also dependent on reduction in crime and violence. So I trust that you're able to follow and understand the need for us to do things differently for us and for our children. I hope that for the 3 days, you take in what's there, you participate, you learn well, and that you eventually probably become an advocate for the system changes to allow you to use that knowledge very soon from now so we can better assist our juveniles.
Phase 1 of the Juvenile Justice Reform Project ran from October 2011 to July 2016. It is currently in the second phase, which focuses on diversion, rehabilitation, and reintegration.
So practically speaking, it means diverting youth away from the justice system for a range of community-based programs and recognizing and serving youth with specialized needs. Not all of them are the same. It means for those who have to go through the system that we keep them out of adult courts. We have special courts for them. We also try to keep them out of jails and prisons by having a facility where if we need to keep them, this is for the young person. It means that we build small rehabilitative facilities for boys and girls. We improve aftercare. So if we have them there for a while, we have to ensure that we follow them after. And also we have re-entry programs when they get back into the communities. Don't just say, well, your time up and put them out. It means engaging and educating youth. You are part of that process, and you're also an important driver in that process. Police being the first contact with the system that a child has, and for some, prison being the end result, not for all, for some. So police officers and prison officers have a crucial role in the reform that can help to move it forward to success, stall it, or reverse it.
The training is in preparation for enactment of the draft OECS Child Justice Bill, which is currently with government. Deputy Director of St. Lucia's Bordelais Correctional Facility, Leonard Terrence, is also conducting training sessions along with Augustus. Meantime, police have confirmed the death of another road accident victim. 31-year-old Zara Shaw of Canefield was killed on Saturday after the vehicle he was driving lost control and collided with a mango tree in an area north of Kulibistri. Still in police news, for the past 17 days, a 38-year-old woman of Glanvilla has been unaccounted for. Police PRO Inspector Pelham John Baptist said Joyce Dupy left her home for work on August 4 and has not been seen since.
A report was made to the police that Joycelyn Dupy of Glanvilla, who left her home about 4:30 a.m. on the 4th of August 2017 for work, has not been seen or heard from since. Dupy resides in Glanvilla and is a temporary employee at Domlec's office on Granby Street in Portsmouth. Joycelyn Dupy is about 5 feet 2 inches tall, weighs about 160 pounds, brown in complexion, has black natural hair and brown eyes with a scar on the right side of her face. Anyone with information which can assist the police in locating Joycelyn Dupy can contact the Criminal Investigations Department at telephone numbers 2665164, 2665165, and 2665119, or Crime Stoppers Dominica at telephone number 1-800-8477.
And on a somber note, the outpouring of emotion was palpable when Pennville and surroundings gathered on the weekend to say a final goodbye to 5 young men who tragically lost their lives in a vehicular accident earlier this month. The death of Chris Marcelin, Jean-Louis Tivari Sango, Clement Leblanc Jr., Mandela Brendan Ofa, and Jude Cecile Jean certainly left the community in shock, but in some ways brought people from all walks of life together.
Despite the lemons that life throws at us, your legacy will live on. Your genes will live on. Your music will live on. Your lyrics will live on. You will not die, but live on. R.I.P. Blinks.
For me, Cecil was a remarkable man in so many ways. He had a cat temperament. He did not say much, but had a golden heart. He was such a gentle soul, unwavering in his patience, and had a real desire to help others.
August 6 taught me that life is even more precious than ever and could be gone in an instant. So please, as one family, one community, one Dominica, I beg of us to love our children, our family, our neighbors, our country, and ensure that if our child, mother, our father, our daughter, our friend, our co-worker were to die today, that they know how much we loved, how much we cherished, and how much we valued them. No more. If only I knew. Let's make things right. Let's make things well. I love you, Christmas, from me and all of us. Until we meet again, rest in perfect peace.
He made people know he cared for them, especially his one and only niece. His loving and wonderful memories will surely live in our minds, our hearts, and our soul forever. My bro, I will love you forever.
When we remember what a fun person Mandela was, we can't help but smile. And much as I am hurting today, I know he is in a better place. I want us to all remember to laugh and smile and have fun every day, because we only get this one life. And if we learn anything from our boys' death, we learn to enjoy our lives all the time, because we aren't guaranteed of tomorrow. I love you, Mandela.
The main celebrant, Father Herman Chapless, seized the opportunity to remind his audience how fragile and short life is.
Earth is only a temporary residence. We are not here forever. Don't live here as if you will never go. Don't get too attached, because the things that we get attached to, we have to leave them. Amen. One assurance we have, that for those who die in the Lord, they live with God forever.
He also issued a call to the youth for a return to church.
Remember what you were taught by your parents. When you wake up from your bed on that morning, find a place to worship your God. The whole tradition is changing. Young people today, on a Sunday, that's when they're coming out from the fete to go and sleep. You were not taught that way. Parents, teach your children the way of the Lord. Show them who God is. Teach them that nothing else in life matters but to know the Lord, to live for the Lord, and to die in the Lord.
Prime Minister Skerrit, who is also the parliamentary representative for the area, was present along with His Excellency President Charles Savre and members of Cabinet.
You, Lord, you're greatly to be praised. You're greatly to be praised. Father, you
You are watching Channel 5 News. Coming up, we hear from relatives of a Francais man who died in his garden on the weekend. Thanks for staying with us. Relatives and friends of a 63-year-old farmer and fisherman from Fort Saint-Jean have been trying to make sense of his sudden death on Sunday. Gerald John Lewis's body was discovered on a plot of land near his house at Fab.
Standing now in the Mr. John Lewis's backyard, where we are told he was digging up or turning over the soil to plant some canny, as you can see, freshly planted canny plants there. And right in this area, I'm told this is where he actually fell. We have a picture of it, but it's a little too sensitive. We can't show it to you, but this is the area where he, unfortunately, he fell. And that's where a friend discovered his body.
I never knew him was a bad person. He was everybody. Nothing he had you.
I met him lying down in the garden, and it looked like he was using his garden for Yes, I think on Friday is going to be 65. He used to be looking for his life. And we never really seeing that he has sickness or whatever, and all of a sudden they just following his gang. And so Jerry was always a big man for the community.
In other news, Communications Officer of the National Youth Council of Dominica, Paul Barron, has announced his candidacy for president of the organization. Elections for that position, as well as most other executive positions, are expected to take place at the National Youth Assembly, carried for September 30 at Goodwill Parish Hall. Current president of the NYCD, Josiah Benoit, is winding up the maximum 2 years he can serve in that role. Barron says, as someone working with fellow young people, it has been a long-standing interest of his to serve on the council's executive.
I think that in many ways that my life has prepared me to work for the benefit of young persons. I think I bring a lot to the table in terms of capacity. My involvement within the Dominican society, be it private or public sector, have allowed me to be able to argue for the benefit of young persons. What I'm simply seeking to do is to go up the notch, to increase my level of influence, and then I can bargain for greater things for the council.
He began serving as communications officer of the council on April 1, 2015, and says he expects to further strengthen the organization. The issues of youth unemployment and children with special needs are among his focus areas.
Particularly, I'm very concerned about the levels of employment generally as it relates to young people, and thereon I will be doing my best to argue for the benefit of being able to get more jobs to Dominica. We may want to consider the whole question of foreign direct investments, whereby we can set up industries, anywhere from a manufacturing plant thereon to certain things that will, boost our employment for Dominica. I'm particularly concerned about the challenges faced with early childhood development and also that of children with disabilities thereon. We want to look at the whole question of enterprise and small business development to ensure that young persons can progress sustainably.
Barron, who is also vice president of the Kalinago Youth Council, says should he become president of the Youth Council, he expects to represent youth fairly.
My leadership style is very open-ended, and very inclusive, because I recognize that when you work for people, it is not within your right to discriminate, be it on party, color, race, or whatnot. My whole upbringing has taught me to help everyone, and I've always found that the National Youth Council needs to be inclusive in the sense that we're able to work very closely with the district youth development officers, because we represent 8 districts, and they're governed by the district youth councils. So really that is the structure and the framework. But what we must ensure is that we can go into those independent communities, forming these youth groups, and speak to the young people thereon.
The NYCD is an umbrella body for youth development organizations. And the Builders and Contractors Association of Dominica, or BCAD, is interested in seeing the present Procurement Act replaced with an improved one. President of the association, Anthony LeBlanc, says thresholds have not been established under the present act and a transparent opportunity to bid is not given precedence to the detriment of both the private and public sectors and the taxpayers. Procurement is largely concerned with sourcing goods and services with the best value for money in mind. LeBlanc spoke at a post-budget public discussion organized by the Dominica Business Forum. Prior to the budget, BCAD made recommendations for improving the procurement environment.
The proposed new act is yet to be presented to the private sector for review and comments over a year since the government declared that it would be. Therefore, BCAD recommended that budgetary allocation be provided to 1. Allow the transparent procurement machinery prescribed by both the current and the proposed new acts to be implemented in order to allow more equitable growth opportunities for and within the construction sector and the rest of the private sector by extension. Allow the establishment of regulations, in particular procurement thresholds in keeping with those proposed under the Caribbean EPA procurement platform regime of $3 million for local enterprises within the OECS local market. Train and expose private sector entities in the rudimentaries of public procurement in keeping with the laws and bilateral agreements which Dominica signs to, in order to make the local sector more ready for competition in both the local and export markets.
Following the budget, he is of the view that government needs to do more to improve the procurement environment.
And we see that what the government wanted to do, as I said, is to control the expenditure and have tight financial control. Yet we found no provisions for budgetary allocation for the improvement of the public procurement environment. How is the tight expenditure control possible without open competitive procurement practices being the norm?
That's news, your sports highlights. Next. We begin with cricket, where the selection panel of Cricket West Indies recently named a 15-member one-day international squad for the current tour of England. On the announcement of the team, Chairman of Selectors Courtney Brown said CWI welcomed Chris Gale and Marlon Samuels back to the squad, who add value to the batting and help with the nurturing of the young batsmen on the team. Sunil Narayan and Darren Bravo have declined to be considered for ODIs in England. However, Narayan has confirmed his desire to play 50-over cricket again, but has asked to play in the Regional Super 50 before he is considered, while Darren said he was not available for selection. Dwayne Bravo said he is still not 100% fit, but is looking at a possible return to international cricket next year. The full CWI ODI squad reads Jason Holder, captain, Jason Mohammed, vice-captain, Sunil Ambris, Davindra Bishu, Miguel Cummins, Chris Gale, Kyle Hope, Shai Hope, Alzari Joseph, Evan Luis, Ashley Nurse, Rovman Powell, Marlon Samuels, Jerome Taylor, and Kesrick Williams. The schedule run from September 13 to 29. Meantime, West Indies captain Jason Holder says despite an overall poor performance by his team in the first test against England, which ended on Saturday, there is still some good he can take from the experience. He highlighted the efforts of Jermaine Blackwood with the ball in a match where England won by an innings and 209 runs.
Yeah, tough few days obviously. We were disappointed in this test match. We lacked consistency when we bowled. And then obviously we didn't put up any runs in either the first or the second innings. One positive obviously is Jermaine Blackwood, and I was really appreciative of the way he played. It's just like his normal self after coming back into Test cricket. So I was very pleased with him. I thought Kemar Roach toiled and bowled really well. I gave a tremendous effort every time I called upon him. And for me, those are the two players that stood up for us in this Test match. There's no point in me dropping my head. I think. Any team is beatable on any particular day. We just got to come out and play the cricket. That would suggest that we've got to keep our heads in the game. We've got to remain positive and play the game of cricket that we know to play.
Recapping the match results, England took 19 wickets on day 3 to secure victory in the first test as the Windies capitulated twice to lose by an innings and 209 runs on Saturday. Final scores: England 514 for 8 declared, West Indies 168 and 137 all out following on. The second test is carded for Friday. Moving on to football, where in one of the most dramatic and nail-biting finals, RC Doctors silenced all naysayers to be crowned the 2017 RC Football League champions on Sunday. Young G-Made launched the first attack with a swift goal in the first half and another on the second. However, Doctors' efforts at penetrating G-Made's defense proved futile in the first half, but in the second, the Doctors bounced back to score 2 with the final goal-scoring moments before the end of full time to end 2-all. The game then went into penalty kicks, where after multiple goal-scoring attempts on either side, RC Doctors was victorious.
This game was a very, very hard game. We know it was going to be a hard game. We know what the challenge is, and Young G-Made is a team. They don't play. They bounce the ball, they have touches, they have more than us, I could say. I'm telling you that. But our team, we came through. We know if we let them go in your comfort zone, they are going to win us. But what we did, we made them play our football. We made them change their football for our case, and we got the results. I know my kickers. I let the best go first, and average, then on the best. So we tied it there, and we just had to count on our great goalkeeper, Kelson Lawrence, to actually pull us through this one. What we are trying to do is build the River Civic Football Club. That's what we are doing. We have actually 2 teams, so we separate the 2 sides. But now most of our senior players are on this team that just won RC Doctors. So we are just trying to get comfortable with each other so that we could go in the First Division League.
Marpin Sports reached out to the captain, vice-captain and manager of Young G-Made for feedback after the match. However, they declined to do so. Back with more cricket, we can tell you that West Indies could get a chance to redeem themselves against Pakistan when the teams play in a T20 series carded for November. Cricket West Indies and the Pakistan Cricket Board are advancing discussions that will see the West Indies team playing 3 T20 matches with Pakistan in Lahore late November this year. The tour would be subject to the safe conclusion of the ICC World 11 teams 3-match series in Lahore in September and affirmation of manageable security by the ICC-sponsored international security company overseeing the security arrangements of the World 11 in September. This follows discussion between CWI President Dave Cameron and Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman. Both sides expressed a desire to facilitate the return of international cricket in Pakistan. Finally, in sports, Guyana Amazon Warriors secured their second victory in the Caribbean Premier League with a 4-wicket win against Barbados Tridents in the 19th match on Sunday. Barbados opened the batting and scored 159 for 4 in their 20 overs. Dwayne Smith contributed 100 to his team's total, with 47 from Kane Williamson. Set 160 for victory, Warriors equaled the target in 19.1 overs with the loss of 6 wickets. Chadwick Walton scored 92. So the points standing after Sunday's game, Trinbago Knight Riders are in the lead with 12, St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots 9, Jamaica Talawas follow on 8, Barbados Tridents and Guyana Amazon Warriors are tied at 4 points each, and St. Lucia Stars are yet to get off the mark with 0 points. The next match will be between Guyana Amazon Warriors and St. Lucia Stars on Tuesday. That's all the sports for now. Join us next time. Time now for your weather update.
Good evening. Welcome to the weather report and forecast. I am Viola Pascal. A tropical wave moved across the island chain throughout today. This resulted in some low-level clouds developing across the island chain as indicated by the infrared satellite imagery. The visible satellite imagery showed that Dominica experienced mostly cloudy skies throughout today. The radar imagery indicated scattered showers mainly across the central and southern portions of the island chain. For tonight, expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with some scattered showers and light winds. A weak trough system is expected to linger across the area over the next few days. Expect partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a few scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms as we get into the late afternoon. Expect generally light winds and warm temperatures. For the marine forecast, seas are expected to be slight to moderate, with waves peaking near 5 feet. Over the next few days, expect partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies with a few scattered showers, some warm temperatures, and generally light winds. Across the Caribbean, expect partly cloudy skies with some scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms over the northern portion of the island chain. For the international cities forecast, expect partly cloudy skies in New York, some thunder showers in Miami and Caracas, overcast skies in London, and overcast skies in Beijing with shower activity. The sun will rise at 5:51 a.m. and set at 6:25 p.m. For further information, call the Weather Hotline 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing. Do have a good evening.
To end the news, the headlines again. Convent High School students among top performers in this year's CXC's CSEC exams. Law enforcement officials receiving training to help transform the juvenile justice system and a fitting farewell for the Penville Five. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsAugust21st2k17. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. To all viewers around the world, we thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.